Alright, go ahead.
All right. 3, 2, 1, and we're live. Welcome to I don't know what episode this is
Episode 15,
anymore.
I think.
Uh,
I think it's good. Episode
okay,
15.
welcome. Are you sure it's not 14?
No, we already did 14. It was a great episode.
Okay. All right. Welcome to episode 15 of For the Lulz, quarantine edition. I'm sure we'll have at least 5 more of these episodes where we're still in quarantine.
All day.
It's also a very special episode because Jay is now live from Seattle.
Yep.
So we're in the same time zone now, and soon we'll have a live studio that we're going to be recording from.
I don't think that's true, but okay.
We'll see. Where are you currently? Where are you now?
I'm in Newcastle at my parents' house.
Okay. When will you be moving back to your own place? You have a condo.
Yeah, I
You
don't
have a
know.
condo, right?
I don't know. Yeah, we're
Kenmore?
unpacking. We're almost done.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah. Wait, why are you unpacking if you are going to go somewhere else later, maybe? Light unpacking? Not fully unpacking, I assume.
it's all the furniture, all the boxes.
Okay.
We're basically done, but then it's just that, originally we were gonna live there because that's close to where my wife works, but since nobody's going into work, it really doesn't matter at this point.
Right.
Nothing.
Does anyone live at your condo? What's the deal with that?
Oh, not anymore. I was renting it out to my friends, but I kicked
Right.
them out. Yeah. So.
Oh, okay. So no one lives there right now.
Yeah, for the time being.
Are you gonna rent it out at all, or
No, I think we're definitely gonna live there.
Okay.
Eventually, once the lockdown ends, if the lockdown ends.
Right. So, I mean, I don't know when this episode's gonna air, but hopefully, soon
Probably,
after we.
I don't know. Tomorrow.
I don't know. Okay. All right. So,
It'll
I
air on
mean,
April
we don't
4th.
need to.
Oh, it'll
All
air
right,
on
we don't need
April-
to explain the situation. Everyone knows the situation. So.
I don't know. Maybe we should, because I think this will be good for future generations. Are going to look at this as a documentary, historical.
Right.
They'll look at this as a historical documentary
Well.
on what it was like.
I mean, the situation right now is that we're not allowed to. We're allowed to leave our homes, but only for groceries
Yeah.
and exercise. But you can't go to anyone's house or anything.
Did you find that? Oh, so our governor is named Jay Inslee. Did you find that his proclamation was kind of limp-wristed?
Soft.
He said,
Yeah. It's very soft.
you're not
yeah.
allowed to go out, but that's just a recommendation, right? He just.
Well, that's what it was at first, and then people didn't listen to him and still had parties at the beach and stuff. And then he was like, "Well, I guess I'll have to be a little more firm, and I'm not going to call it quarantine in place, or it wasn't gonna, right?
But he still hasn't really
Shelter in place.
enforced it, though.
It has. I have heard stories as an example, I have a friend. He works for the government. He's a lawyer. And he went, or he didn't go himself, but his coworker tried to go into work, and there was actually a police officer outside that would stop people from going into the building.
What state was this?
This is here. This is Washington State.
Okay. But
Yeah, who works in downtowns?
Because I still see, because I drive from Newcastle to Kenmore all the time. It's about a 30-minute drive for anyone who's not from Washington. And 405 is pretty empty, but there's still plenty of cars out there.
Yeah. It's not. I don't know. It's different out there, man. I think people are more. I mean, a lot of normal things are closed, right? You can't go get a haircut if you want. You can't go to the gym. You can't go see movies. Things, luxuries that you would like on an normal basis, or everyday basis. Those aren't available to you anymore. Only the essentials are available. Grocery stores.
Liquor stores.
If you have a medical emergencies.
Liquor stores.
Sure. The pet store is still open. I went to go get.
Pot shops.
Yeah, pot shops are still open. I went to go get some doggy shampoo, and so the pet store was still open. And people can still go outside. People definitely try to stay further apart now, right? There's this proclamation that you have to try to stay with, further than 6 feet apart. And so when you go to Trader Joe's, everyone they try to minimize the number of people that get in at a time, and they leave they have a line outside with like six people or 6 feet, separated as people file in to get in.
Yeah, like I saw when I was at the Home Depot in New Jersey, they had a line and they were only letting 50 people in at a time. Uh, but like a lot of other places, I mean, I'm going like to the Safeway, right? And yeah, people are just lining up to check out. They're not staying 6 feet apart. They're not wearing masks. They're not wearing
Oh
gloves.
yeah, yeah.
It's crazy.
It's
Crazy.
you should be careful, man. You wear a mask when you go out. You
Oh
wear
yeah,
a
yeah.
N95
Yeah,
mask.
yeah, N95 and
Oh, where do you get those? I
you
don't.
should
I
have
can't.
you
I
should
don't
have
have
ordered
access.
them. It's too late now.
No, dude, I don't want. I don't want. Our friend James Quo wrote this article about being a doctor and stuff, and how it's scary, because all these civilians are ordering all these N95 masks.
Yeah, but that's good though. Like I get his
Yeah.
point is that there's not enough for doctors, but that's the problem of the United States now.
Can we link his article on the bottom?
Yeah.
So our mutual friend from high school, he's a doctor, and he's actually the doctor who worked at one of the first hospitals where a patient died in Washington State, and because he works, he's in contact with people with the virus. He can't see his kids, and so his wife and his kids have moved in with, I think it's his brother-in-law. I think they've gone down to stay with them, and he just has the house to himself as kind of like
Wow.
basically he self-quarantined himself, right? So he doesn't get his
Wait,
kids sick.
I had a question because I thought he was on the East Coast for some reason.
He used to be. He used to live in New York. That's where he did his residency.
Oh, when did you come back?
A while. He's been back for a while. He bought a house. He lives up in Bothell. Are we allowed to say that? Yeah, sure.
Wait, well,
Yeah,
because
that's
we're
fine.
gonna link his article, right? Okay, yeah, we'll just say
Yeah,
he lives
so
in Bothell, but we won't give the exact address.
Yeah.
I don't know the
Yeah.
exact address.
Yeah.
Cool.
Can you also do make a note to send me your address so I can send you a save the date?
What? That's okay.
Flash your address on the screen right here,
That's
so then I can look back at the podcast later.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
Okay, well, make an action item to text me your address so I can send you a save the date.
Oh man, I just hope the audio of this episode's gonna be okay.
I'm sorry. Oh, it's fine. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. Well,
Can you hear me okay?
I'm doing a Skype recording plus the audio recording plus a backup one. I
think
don't
we're-
know without a headphones, so it could be
I
terrible.
think we're fine.
Um,
So how's work for you? Like, how's your work been?
Oh, so I've been working remote for the last 2.5 years, so practically nothing has changed. The only thing is, when I was in New Jersey working remote, I still went into an office type environment.
Right.
At home, it's a lot more difficult with a shrieking baby.
Yeah.
But I'm a lot better.
You have a lot of Skype meetings or Zoom. What kind of
We
meeting
use an
software?
Amazon internal tool. I
Oh,
guess Zoom
gross.
is getting a lot of buzz lately, but I mean, there's
Yeah.
literally hundreds.
Didn't we try to? What was the? Remember when we were? Do you have the footage? We probably don't have the footage, but there was like an evening when we tried to use all this other like. Remember we
Yeah,
went
but
through this headache.
I didn't record those pathetic
Yeah.
attempts. Like,
Did we use Zoom?
we used Discord. We tried. Actually, I think we just tried Discord. And
No, we tried something else too. We tried some like
Google
thought-
Hangouts. Google Hangouts.
and something else. We used like a third thing.
Okay.
Anyways.
well, we can try Zoom next time. I just want an application where I can arrange our faces.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
I don't know. You should just write one. It's easier that way if you just write a
Yeah,
program.
See, that's the whole thing. Like, I don't get why Zoom is getting all this buzz right now.
Yeah.
Like, there's like hundreds of
Yeah.
chatting applications. Like,
Yeah.
it just doesn't make sense.
So what's it been like for your wife though? Because she was like between jobs, right? Essentially.
Yeah. So she started her new job in Seattle, but she's also working remote.
Oh,
We're
okay.
just-
She can. Isn't she like a? Can you describe what your wife does in like 2 sentences?
Modeling, but not that kind of modeling.
Oh, like hand model or like foot model or something,
Yeah,
not
no,
like
no.
face model.
No. More like MATLAB modeling.
She's gonna watch this and be hell pissed.
But I'm not sure what exactly she's modeling. Like I think so. At her previous job, she was modeling like antibiotic medication in the
Yeah.
system and stuff.
I interviewed at this company. This is a tangent. I interviewed at this company, and they make like novel I think they made like novel bacteria or whatever, right?
What does that
For
mean?
different process. They
Novel
make like
bacteria.
they design bacteria to do things that like fermentation processes that we want.
Whoa.
Right.
Sounds dangerous.
Anyways,
Okay.
no, it's not. Anyways, it's not. No, it's not.
Sounds dangerous.
Anyways, so I interviewed there, and then the company basically like ghosted me. Did I tell you this? Did I talk about this? I interviewed there, and like they ghosted me, right? They wouldn't even tell me whether or not.
Yeah.
Well, it was really unprofessional, you know. It was like
Yeah. Okay, I do remember.
like
Yeah.
I interviewed with like the CEOs of the company, right? Because it's a very small startup.
Yeah.
And so, and like I spent like a half day there, and not even a half day, maybe like a couple hours, and like I talked to a bunch of people and stuff. I answered all their questions, and then like a week later, I sent them an email, being like, hey, what's going on with this position? And none of them responded. Like super unprofessional, I feel.
Right.
Not even like a courtesy email to say, hey, I didn't get the job. It's not like I would have been butthurt about it, right? It's just weird.
I do remember this story now.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, we don't want their sponsorship, for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
And their office is next to a big homeless camp, so hopefully the homeless people broke in and stole all
Yeah,
this stuff.
I found that usually it's the crappy companies that don't give you, that ghost you. Like, when I first graduated, I tried to apply for Real Networks. Real Networks is this crappy.
Yeah.
Like, what is?
No, that's good.
It's like
Real player.
Like it's like a media player or something, but
Yeah,
it's
that
awful.
no one uses anymore.
Yeah, and I
It
guess
used to be really big.
I guess Maria Cantwell was the senator, was the CEO for it, whatever, and I interviewed for there for like 3 or 4 times, and I always got ghosted, or like I would set up an interview and then they would just not call me.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's unprofessional, dude.
Yeah, but only crappy companies do that, so
Yeah.
no big loss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, what were we talking about? Okay, so your wife has started her new job, but remotely, which is probably a little weird. Would she normally have to go in?
Yeah, exactly. But
Like her job requires her to go in, right? It's not like her job is technically remote.
nope, she doesn't need to go in. Everything's remote.
So,
Everything's remote.
oh really? Well, I mean, if this quarantine thing weren't in place, would she be able to, like, would she normally be working from home?
No.
No, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Otherwise, you wouldn't have moved back.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
So, life for me is a little weird, obviously, because I mean, my job involves interaction with students. So we've been doing distance learning, which is very difficult. I mean, I think part of it is like, have you ever taken an online course before?
Yeah.
I mean, certain courses are designed to be online, right? And that's fine. But my course, like, was not designed to be online. These students did not sign up for an online course, so forcing that switch has been difficult for, I think, a lot of them. They have an exam coming up, and you have to. I don't know. I already caught a pair of cheaters on a quiz. I'll tell this, like, these students, like, so I can see when quizzes get submitted, right?
Oh, jeez.
And so these quizzes got submitted within like a couple seconds of each other,
Oh, jeez.
like, right? Which is not super suspect, I suppose, but when there's like a 3-hour window when you get to take a 30-minute quiz, it seems a little odd. And then a lot of the same mistakes, that I saw. So, anyways, I mean, it's suspected cheating. I'm not, guilty until proven innocent thing, right? But it's very suspicious, right? So, anyways.
Unbelievable. Wow.
Yeah. So, life is weird, right? Right now.
Yeah. Well, okay. Let's talk about. So you decided to get a mohawk.
Are you? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't have to see people. I'm gonna take my headphones off so I can't see anything for a little bit. I'm gonna take it off just to show it.
Okay.
So I don't know. Post-apocalyptic times calls for a post-apocalyptic haircut, I suppose. So.
Yeah. You did the haircut yourself, right? It's not.
Yeah. At the back, my partner had to cut for me, but yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't have to see anyone for a while, so. Although, I did have like a job interview via phone, and they'll let me know in 2 weeks if they want to Skype with me to do like.
Okay.
So I don't know if I'll have to cut it again later. Is that your mom in the background? Does she want to show up on the podcast?
Oh crap, you can hear that, huh? Oh man.
No, that's cool. No, that's good. Bring her on. Bring your
No,
mom on.
she's on the phone with someone else, so
Uh,
it's gonna be the background.
all right. So you live in Newcastle, huh?
It's gonna be a good episode.
Yeah. Yeah. So, um, yep. So your dogs are there too? Brought the
Yeah, so
dogs
it's
back.
kind of a circus because it's me, my wife, my parents, the two dogs, plus the
Right.
mother-in-law, plus the baby.
Oh, your mother-in-law's there too. I didn't know that.
Yeah, but okay,
What about your?
like tonight she decided to stay in Kenmore because I think it was too much of a circus. So
Wait a second. So, your mother-in-law is normally in Seattle or no?
no, she's normally in China, but
Okay. So
she
where's she staying in Kenmore? At your house?
yeah,
Oh. What about your father-in-law?
he already went back to China.
Oh, wow, dude. That's
And
scary. Scary times.
he's quarantined. I mean, China's locked down. So
Right. When did he go back to China though?
back in November.
Oh, wow, dude. That's scary, dude. Yeah.
No, it is scary, and it's also not really clear if when my mother-in-law can go back because China basically shut down all inbound flights now.
Yeah.
No one can get in.
Right. How describe the move like? So where's all like? How did all your stuff get packed up? Like what was the deal with all
Oh
that?
yeah, so we had movers. So we just hired her through her company, like they came and packed everything.
Yeah.
So when we moved from Washington to New Jersey, the packer, it was just a couple of guys who came, packed everything, and then loaded it onto the truck, including the furniture. This time it was kind of weird because it was one day for the packers to pack, and then another day for the actual movers to move. So it was like two different contractors. The
Okay.
packers were really unprofessional. I
What do you mean by that? Are they crackheads?
Well, no, they just like they were really slow. They were supposed to come between 8 and 10 a.m., but they didn't show up until 11. And then they said we're gonna go on a lunch break, and they came back 2 hours later. They were watching YouTube. They didn't finish
Okay.
until like 7.
Yeah.
Whereas the next day the mover was very professional. He finished super quickly. Like he showed up
Okay.
at 10 and loaded the entire truck by 4. Just 9-day difference.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So all your stuff got packed up, and then
Yeah, and then so
Um,
my wife and mother-in-law flew out first, and then I stayed for a few days because originally my plan was I was gonna stay for a few days and hang out with my friends, do some jujitsu, all that stuff. But
wasn't it gonna be reverse originally? Weren't you going to come back first, and then your wife was gonna come after?
no, because it just
Huh.
made more sense for them to come back with the baby because with all the furniture packed up, like there's no
Right.
it's harder to take care of the baby.
Right.
So I didn't get to do any of that. I did drink over Skype with one of my friends because that's just the new reality now. You just have to drink over Skype.
Oh, that like happy hour, remote happy hours, virtual happy hours. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Let's do that one of these days.
Yeah. Next time. Well, we did in one of the episodes. I was drinking some scotch.
We should do a drinking games live video where we just get progressively.
Let me see if
more
there's
buzzed.
Let me see if there's any booze in the house. I'll just
Right now?
Yeah, I'm just gonna.
You don't need to do it right now. You don't need to do it right now.
Wait, why not?
Do it next time.
I kind
Put it on the action items. No,
I
this
kind of
is-
want to.
I need you at your soberest right now.
No.
Plus, your wife will get mad. Your wife will get mad. You know she will. So.
Like I did do.
Oh, did she hear me? Did she? I forgot I got to censor myself.
Yeah, I went to Plainsboro, New Jersey, because that's actually where I grew up when I was a little kid. So before I lived I moved to Seattle when I was 10 years old, but before that I lived in Plainsboro, New Jersey for 2 years. So I actually drove back to my old apartment and hung out there.
That's weird because you can't actually get into the building, I assume.
No, it's like an open apartment complex. I'll try to remember to.
That's still a little weird. Post a picture, I guess. Post a picture of you there.
Yeah, it's like.
Flash-
Do you
Flash
know,
it up right here.
Do you know, like, what's a good example? Because it's not like your apartment complex with just one building, right? This is more like a couple dozen buildings spread out, wide and open, and there's this trail in the back. So what I did, I walked the trail, and I kept 6 feet from everyone else on the trail, and I remembered what it was like to be a kid, how carefree it was. It's a
You can
wonderful
still be
thing.
carefree, dude. You can still be carefree. I mean, within
I
reason.
don't think that's true.
So what's it like when you walk your dog now? This tangent, but interruption of your story. But yeah, so like when you walk your dog now, what's it like for you? Like when I walk my dog now, I don't even try. I'm very like wary of other people around because I try, because normally people like when you walk your dog, typically you come in contact and you pass other people. But now I'm like I'll cross the street to avoid people and stuff. It's like I don't know. I just take a different approach now when I walk my dog.
Oh, well, we don't really walk our dogs anymore because one of them's crippled, and then the
Oh,
other one is kind of close to
okay.
being crippled. So we,
Well, do you have a backyard?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like
So yeah,
if
that
Caesar
helps. Yeah.
Milan's watching this, I know he's going to be very upset because
Your dogs are also small. I
he
mean,
no he strongly
whatever.
believes in walking dogs. So I'm sorry, Caesar. Like my dogs are just too
Oh.
crippled.
Well, he's a piece of crap, so that's
What?
fine.
What?
Anyways,
Wait, no, no, you
okay,
can't. No,
so
no, no, you can't. What? What do you?
uh, so
Caesar
so
Milan
we
is awesome. He's known as the dog
yeah.
whisperer. He's a great guy.
No, he's
He
terrible. Did you
he
watch the episode of South Park where he was
he
on and
yeah
he's
he
terrible?
trains Cartman and he was awesome.
Oh,
And
that's horrible. He
like
treats Cartman like an animal, dude.
yeah, because
He's a
that's what
human being.
Cartman is. That's how he deserves to be treated. Did you know? Did
Anyways,
you know Caesar basically tried to commit suicide because like his
no.
wife divorced him and he was in a very
Oh wow,
dark spot. Did you know
wow.
that?
No, dude.
Yeah, like
No.
yeah, he basically what happened was he went in a divorce, and then I guess his original show, The Dog Whisperer, like he was screwed over in the contract, so he got very little money from it. So he was just in a dark place. But he has a new show now. Great guy.
I don't watch that guy. Anyways,
But
okay.
I can't tell if you're trolling or not.
I have not watched the shows. Anyways, so okay, so you went to your childhood home, you walked around. Describe like the travel process, I guess, like when you're coming back. Oh well, do you want to plug that you couldn't say goodbye to your friends? I remember you were really sad about that.
What that I couldn't what?
You couldn't say goodbye to all your jujitsu friends
Yeah. I was gonna I was gonna originally
and
fly.
Zoolander.
Yeah, and Zoolander. Like originally, I was gonna spend the last week just doing the noon and evening classes of jujitsu, but like the coach decided to shut it down like a week before the official shutdown order because it seemed things were getting pretty bad. Like he did the right thing.
Yeah, that's responsible. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
good.
yeah. But like, I had to say goodbye on Facebook because I pretty much delayed saying goodbye because I don't like to say goodbye. So I
Yeah.
basically had to do it over Facebook. It was not ideal. So if this all blows over, I'll probably be back in the summer to say my proper goodbyes to all my friends too.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, so you kind of said your like virtual goodbyes, and then you headed to the airport. What was that? I mean, what's it like traveling during this time? I mean, I'm just curious, because like most people probably, I mean, you had to travel obviously, but a lot of people during this time are canceling flights and like trips are
Yeah, it was great.
canceled.
The airport was mostly empty. I did have like one negative experience because
Which airport did you fly out of?
Newark Liberty International
Yeah.
Airport,
Yeah.
which is surprisingly actually a better airport than JFK.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah, I
I've
didn't know
flown
that.
out of that one.
I figured New York airports would be better, but then I actually flew out of JFK once
Yeah.
and it was terrible. But
JFK is a cluster, dude. Every flight is delayed there
yeah,
all the time.
it's way too small.
Yeah.
I had a negative experience because when you fly with a dog, uh, you have to call and let them know you're traveling with a dog and pay a fee. I was not able to call United because like the wait times were over 2 hours, and even after two
Okay.
hours, I didn't. So what it is, I went to the airport and I said, okay, I'm going to be traveling with my dog. Can I pay the fee? And then the guy said, no, you have to call in advance. And I told him I was not able to call in advance because the phones were all busy.
Right.
And then so we kind of just sat there and I was arguing with him. I'm trying to explain to him I wasn't able to call in advance about my dog. Why can't we just do it there? And he said the rules don't allow that.
Okay.
So then
Did you put your dog down at the airport and then you got on the flight?
No.
Oh, okay.
Basically, I just kept shouting at him until
Oh.
he called like a special phone number because like I showed him
Okay.
I called
The
the
hotline.
number, and his whole time was 2 hours. And I told him my flight's in 2 hours, and they kept shouting at him. And then so he called like a secret phone number, which bypasses the wait, and then he was able to book the dock, even though he claimed that he was not able to do that. But
Right.
the lesson is you have to be a Karen. That's a meme. There's someone named Karen who complains
Yeah,
and
yeah.
gets things done.
Well, okay. Here's how it works with I think like 99% of the time when you complain enough, you'll get your way, which is unfortunate in our society because some people use that to their advantage. In your situation, that seems perfectly reasonable.
Right,
That
because I thought it was ridiculous because they say
yeah,
I had to call in advance, but the phone
yeah,
lines, it was impossible. So,
right.
because yeah,
So
normally
okay,
I
so
do call in advance. So,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, and then I got on, no one.
Was there a meal? Was there
Oh, I did not eat
in-flight
anything.
meal?
I did it. They tried to give me water and snacks, and I told them don't touch me. Right, like
Okay, in-flight entertainment? Like, did you
Nope.
watch a movie?
No, I read I always bring some books to read.
In a Ziploc bag or something?
No, just in my backpack.
Okay.
The good thing was the plane was basically empty.
Mhm.
Just make a note to show a picture of the plane.
Did you wear a mask during the
Yeah,
flight?
yeah. I had a mask. Like surprisingly, no one else did. I mean, those people are insane.
I mean, if you're within a reasonable distance, despite being in a sealed tube, the air is kind of filtered in a way. So I don't know. I mean,
They
it is
did.
what it is.
I'll try to find the article, but it showed that because Asian countries, like Asians, like to wear masks, right? Like the spread is a lot slower in countries where people wear masks because you kind of also have to assume that you're infected too. Like the other benefit of the masks is that if you
Right.
sneeze, you kind of stop the spread of it.
Yeah.
Just everybody needs to wear masks, and
The big thing with Corona is like dosage matters too, right? Like someone sneezing in your face is different than you like touching a doorknob that was touched by a contaminated person 2 hours ago, and then you maybe rubbing your forehead.
Well, I
Like
was reading that it
the
survives for like 17 hours on surfaces.
it does, it does, it does. And it depends on the material and stuff. But I think that the the method of transmission is very important when you
Yeah.
account for like how you get infected. Anyways, yeah. So sounds like your flight was okay though. I mean,
Yeah, there
you're
was
obviously.
like about 10 other people on the flight, so Bill Burr calls it budget business class. Felt really good. Had the whole airplane.
Did you get upgraded at all, or any free
I
upgrades
didn't need an
because of
upgrade
that?
because I had the whole
Well, I
free
mean,
seats
still
to
like
myself.
not. I mean, still not a lot of leg room. I mean, you don't get the premium movies.
I don't
You don't
I
get.
do have legroom because I sleep horizontally, right? So I just sleep across all three seats.
Yeah, but the seats are bigger and more comfortable. And,
Well, it's called budget business class. I mean, it's
Okay.
fine.
did Amazon pay for that? Can we say that?
Her company paid for it, yeah.
Oh, wow, dude, nice.
So
Can we
Amazon
plug that
sto-
company? What's the company? Can we plug it? Do we want to give them a sponsor?
Seattle Genetics.
Oh no, never mind. I don't want to plug them. Please beep out that part because they didn't hire me when I applied for a job there.
Jeez, okay.
Just I don't want any mention of that terrible company. Okay. So put an action item to bleep out that portion. Speaking of sponsors, this week's podcast is brought to you by Hardbody, the Hardbody Chronicles, the podcast by our friend Pablo. He has a hardbody clothing line that's currently emerging and big in the streetwear
That's right.
streetwear world. And so if you like cool streetwear, you like innovative designs, I recommend that you give the Hardbody Chronicles on YouTube a listen. Can we plug that below?
Yeah.
Link below. Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe to the Hardbody Chronicles, and check out Hardbody clothing.
That's right.
Yeah, so you made it. How was SeaTac when you got? Like, how was the Seattle airport? I mean, we're like we're like ground zero, right, of the outbreak in the States.
Nah.
So not a lot of people are trying to fly into Seattle, I assume.
That's fake news though. Like Seattle was the first.
Not really. I mean,
Seattle was the first
Right.
state to do testing, so that's why the first 11 deaths were attributed to Seattle. But Really, if you think about it, that
Well,
logically doesn't make any sense.
possibly.
Like,
Uh,
the other
I
states
don't
weren't
know. I
doing
mean,
testing, so they couldn't attribute the deaths to corona. I mean, look at how it's blown up in New York now. I think what
well,
happened.
we had, I mean, Seattle had a really big like outbreak at this care facility, right?
Yeah,
This
at a nursing home. Yeah, like everyone
yeah.
was basically passed away. But I think what
They
happened.
had they had like a they had a Valentine's Day party or something like terrible. Like some very ill-timed like get together at that facility,
Yeah,
and it was bad. It's probably transmitted through the caretakers and stuff. Is what people.
yeah,
There's a whole like timeline by the Seattle Times. Um, sad, sad.
yeah. But I mean,
Yeah.
you saw how like New York blew up now, right? I think that's because they also ramped up testing.
Well, New York is odd also because of the close proximity of everything.
Yeah, that's why I thought it was weird because when Seattle had like 11 deaths, like New York hadn't reported any. But like, so Penn Station, right? Because that's the station I go to every day from the NJ Transit.
Let's not plug Penn Station because the one time I went to Penn Station to go to Shake Shack, the Shake Shack there was closed. So
Oh, jeez. Look, look,
bleep out,
I'm
put
I'm
action
not plugging.
items.
My point is it has connections to NJ Transit, Amtrak, to
But the
DC.
Shake Shack there is not open on like a Sunday morning for like whatever reason, dude. It's terrible.
Right.
Shake Shack. That was like I tried to get Shake Shack for the first time ever, and it was not open.
Yeah. Shake Shack sucks. Got it.
No, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
When you go to Shake Shack, right, they always serve the burger inside this wrapper. But what you should do, you should remove the burger from the wrapper and look at the. So instead of like a normal bun, right, you can imagine a normal hamburger bun where there's a top and a bottom, right?
Okay.
What they do at Shake Shack instead is they give you this clamshell. So there's like a little hinge in the back, and so when you eat your burger, it doesn't slide through the back. Because when you go to like a crappy burger place like Burger King,
How dare you?
whenever you start eating it, the meat like slides through slides like out of the burger because the bun doesn't have a hinge on it, unlike Shake Shack.
So it's just very suspicious because Penn Station's got connections to DC, to Connecticut. Then it's got NJ Transit. It's got the
Is
subway.
your son crying in the background? Can you?
No, my
Oh,
ears are highly tuned. If you were.
Wow, your family is up very late.
Yeah. I don't know how the
Night
audio
owls.
for this video is going to be
It's
because
fine,
my
dude.
mom's
It's good.
still
It's really good. No, it's good. It's
still
good,
going
dude.
on in the background.
It's good. Once we set up for, how do you want to do like sound deadening in your our recording studio?
We're not going to have a recording studio.
Should we should we get some blankets and stuff for the walls? Some quilts? Just hang them against the walls and stuff.
Yeah, I'm not setting up a recording studio. But anyways, where's that? Right. So you
Well,
have this,
I'll just come over to record
you
once
have the
this whole
central
quarantine
hub,
thing.
right? Across, and also like everyone goes to Penn Station all over the world. So you have the central hub, and yet there was like 0 reported deaths. Seems suspicious, but now New York
Yeah.
is like.
I mean, I'm sure it was in other places. Yeah. I mean, it's
Yeah,
but
I mean, New York's screwed now. Like, the latest news said they're running out of morgue space, so they're creating temporary morgues. They had like 100 people die in one day or something insane. There are
when
hospitals.
when do you think do you think things will become normal? I
Yeah,
mean, like when will they?
Because like flu type viruses, they normally subside during the summertime, right? Because like the warmer weather, like people don't get flus during the summer. It'll probably be like Game of Thrones, where we'll have a short break during the summer, and then winter will be coming, and then it'll be bad again.
Yeah.
Um,
But like, you know what concerns me is like I think that I mean we're at the extreme right now, right? We're at this extreme like quarantine where everyone has to stay apart. But what happens when like how do you like what's the transition between this and then normal life? You know what I mean?
yeah,
Does that make sense?
yeah.
The
I
question?
don't think. See, that's the thing. I don't think we can end the quarantine. Um, because I guess the idea is we want to flatten the exponential curve, but even if we flatten it, I don't think if we only kept this up for like another week or two, that won't be enough. We have to like keep it keep the quarantine for like a couple months, I think. But like even in China, they tried doing that and people are rioting. Like in America, I don't think anyone's going to voluntarily quarantine for longer than a month.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a lot of social.
But like, does that mean in like a month, like people are gonna rush back to bars and the shit's gonna shoot up again? Like, what's gonna happen, man?
Yeah, I think so. I think people are going to go crazy.
It's scary. I don't know what's gonna happen, dude. I mean, for me, I can tell you like what schools are closed until, well, for me until the summer starts, or well, until the end of the semester, basically, right? So, the school year as is going to be online only. We're not going back. So,
Yeah.
I don't know.
But like, think about, because like, okay, for schools, like you can still kind of teach remotely. It's not as good, but like a lot of people,
Yeah.
like they're gonna lose their jobs.
Oh yeah, there's huge. I mean, the stocks are plunging. Like gas is like at all-time low. Like no one's driving anywhere.
A
It's
lot of small businesses are closing, and there's a lot of people online that are saying, like you can't put the lives of people above the stock market, but I don't think they realize.
it's scary, man.
I don't think they realize like if everyone loses their jobs and all these businesses close, there's going to be a lot more deaths too, just from the rioting that's going to happen.
Yeah. Kids are. I mean,
Yeah.
here, I'll say one thing that is kind of troubling to me. Like schools fulfill a need to the community that's more than just like teaching kids, right? And make sure that kids get fed and stuff. For a lot of kids, the sad thing is like that lunchtime is one of maybe their only meal that day, and so like that sucks. I mean, when they close, it's like, how do you feed these kids? Like it's scary stuff, man. Like I don't know what's gonna happen, man.
Yeah, and it's also a babysitting service because the
It
parents
is.
can't go to work unless.
I wonder
Yeah.
how parents like. I don't know. I don't know how you feel about education. I know firsthand that education is really hard, but like a lot of people like to critique teachers because they think it's like a really easy job. And so like I feel like now that people actually have to deal with their kids full time, I think they'll appreciate teaching more, and maybe people won't complain that teachers are being paid like some people feel like teachers are being paid too much, I think, but I don't think teachers are being paid enough.
I think it depends, right? Because like I think there were a lot of terrible teachers in Garfield. I don't know if you knew this
Sure.
awful teacher.
Sure.
named-
No, we can't name people. We
Wait.
can't name people.
Wait, why can't we
specifically.
name people?
That's against the rules of this podcast. We can't.
Wait, what?
I mean, unless there's public celebrities or something like Caesar Milan or like Shake Shack
wait,
at
are you
Penn
serious?
Station. I don't know. I don't want to be calling out teachers, dude.
All right,
I don't know.
I'll-
I don't
yeah,
think. I think it's-
Okay, I'll have to bleep out her name.
I know what you're talking about. Okay, I knew right away that you were going to name that teacher.
Yeah,
but
like-
I think
I think I probably complained about her in previous episodes where she taught biology, so she showed us the PBS documentaries of animals reproducing, and that was our lesson. It's awful. So
Anyways,
I would say she deserved to be paid $0 an hour, and then
Okay.
Mr. Sudakawa, the orchestra conductor, deserved to be paid like six figures because he was that amazing. Yeah, it just really depends. Mr. Sudakawa is a celebrity because there's actually a Marcus Sudakawa Day now after he retired.
his dad is an artist.
Yep.
Who,
Yep. So all celebrities.
That can you plug this article? And so his dad designed these like bronze like gates or something at I think the Arboretum or something
Okay.
somewhere. They recently got stolen,
Yeah, I read
and then one of them was destroyed.
Because they're melting them down, right, for the raw materials because they sell for a lot, so they can do some.
Probably, but no one's gonna buy them now, and no one's buying anything right now. I mean, it's like
Yeah, those idiots should have thought of that. I hope.
I don't know, what-
whoever did that gets.
beep that out. I don't know if you're allowed to say that.
No, they're terrible.
What's I don't know. How do you envision life returning back to normal? I mean, you know?
I think in the
when-
summer the virus will naturally subside, and then there'll
Right, you
be
said that. But
a few months
but-
non-quarantine.
But do you think like okay? I mean like, do you think like, so what grocery store do you shop at? Like Safeway or something?
Yeah.
Right. Because you're okay. So, like, do you think all of a sudden people are just gonna like be able to go to Safeway and then find like stand next to each other like closely, or like, You know what I mean? Like when will like this fear kind of subside? Do you think along with the summer? Do you think parks will be like back? Like, have you been to a park recently? Probably not, right?
Yeah. Like I go outside for walks.
Okay, so I take my dog out to the park, right? And the park has caution tape like wrapped around all the kids' like play areas. Like, when does that get removed, right? Like, when can people go to bars again? Like, it's so weird, dude. Like, I just don't foresee. I don't see an out. I don't see a light at the end of the tunnel, unfortunately, right now, which is very scary to me.
Because the issue is, like making vaccines for viruses is tough, right? Because they mutate so fast. Like, and well, I don't know how antiviral drugs work. I think, so Gilead Pharmaceuticals is.
Don't plug them. I tried to apply for a job at that place, and they
I'm not
wouldn't
talking-
hire me.
I'm saying they have this drug.
Just let's not name any pharmaceutical
Okay.
companies
They
unless
have
we
this
talk
drug
bad
that
about
starts
them.
with the letter R. I don't know how to pronounce it. Recidivir or something. That was an anti-Ebola drug, but I guess they're repurposing it for COVID because I guess it's targeting the same receptors or something. Um, but yeah, I don't know if it'll work though. Like,
I don't know. I mean, that's not my specialty.
like I don't know how antivirals work, right? Because I mean, viruses mutate so fast. Like, do they always just use
Yeah.
the same receptors?
I don't know.
Yeah.
They're not. Viruses in general are kind of weird to me always because they're not actually alive, right?
Correct. They have to hijack
They're like-
the machinery of the cells in order to reproduce.
It's super. Viruses are super weird to me. Just like how, like they're just basically RNA or something, right? From
Yeah,
what I
exactly.
recall, it's like strands of RNA. It's just like, yeah, it's so weird. It's so weird to me that, like, this is one thing I've never really understood. I'm not a biologist, but like, so if I set up a chemical reaction, I know I can calculate thermodynamically whether or not that reaction wants to work or not, right? And I can figure out the rate at which that will proceed. Depending what reaction is. But for like things like biological, like biochemistry processes, why do viruses even want to replicate? Like, what's the chemical driving force for that to happen? I don't understand.
Whoa. Oh, I have no idea. Like,
It's like super weird.
well, so they have
Like-
to attach and use what the cell's ribosomes to produce their thingamajigs, right? They use the.
Something like that. Yeah.
Wait, so how
something
do they
like-
attach to the cell?
I don't know, man. I don't know enough biochemistry. But like, why does it even want to do that?
Right. Because
Right,
it's just
like-
RNA. It's just RNA, right? So what's causing it to hijack?
Yeah, I mean, I know how like, I don't know. I know how like proteins like get replicated by DNA and stuff, and like, but I don't know. It's always so weird to me that the process. I mean, I guess like, I'll dig into it. We'll talk about DNA
That's what I'm saying,
replication.
but yeah, because you're right. Because viruses aren't actually considered life form. But like, what's causing them to hijack a cell? Like, what's the mechanistic thing?
I mean, I understand some of the like chemical forces that would cause it to happen, but like I don't know, it's just weird. Like chemically things happen because entropy increases, right? And thermodynamically they're somewhat favorable at some given temperature, but it's just weird. I don't know. This is a discussion that we need to like get your wife on to talk about.
Right.
So next time on For the Lulz, episode 16, we're gonna have Jiang's wife on, and we're gonna talk about these topics.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay. Is she in the background listening to that
Yeah.
statement? Oh, cool.
Cool.
So yeah, we'll have her on the show next time. We'll get her.
Okay.
Make sure she can see me waving.
This is not fair because I was just nursing the kid and you were doing this. Next time we should
Yeah.
do
Okay.
this.
Okay. Next time. I will.
It's irresponsible, Jay. It's irresponsible.
I know. Very irresponsible.
We're just talking about.
Okay, stay safe and healthy, okay? Wear a mask.
Yep. Stay safe. Anyway, make sure that gets into the podcast. So. Yeah, man. Let's see. What was I gonna talk about?
Right. So I don't. That's the thing. Like, I think a lot of people don't realize it's not going to get. So there's like two ways it'll play out, right? Like either either we just continue the quarantine indefinitely, which is going to be crappy and there's going to be social unrest, or like
Have you looked at the graphs? Have you looked at the graphs where you can slide like the time of a quarantine, and then it shows you where like how the curve flattens out and stuff.
Yeah.
I have some concerns because if we stay in quarantine, so the best case scenario, right? We stay in quarantine for like another 6 to 7 weeks or something like that, and then by summer it dies down to like basically nothing. But then, like you said, it rises up again. The point at which it kind of peaks again is close to my wedding, and so I don't know. A lot of bad things have happened this year, man. 2020 has been a really bad year. Can we address that really quick? Can we list like the negative things that have happened in 20? I think the last episode was like our downer episode, and we talked about all the negative things that happened. But like aside from this quarantine thing, right? This COVID outbreak, Kobe Bryant died.
Oh,
Kobe
yeah.
Bryant never lived. Kobe Bryant never lived to see Corona,
Wow.
the Corona outbreak. What else happened? My bike got stolen from my parents' house.
Yep.
My dog got diarrhea and shit on my backpack.
Right. Marcus Tsutakawa's dad's sculpture was destroyed by vagrants.
Right?
And-
Well, that's
so
unclear.
wait,
We don't
why
know
am I
why.
not allowed to say what I want to happen to these people?
I don't know. It
Is that
seems not
considered-
very PC.
Is that
Yeah, it
okay?
seems- I don't think you wish harm upon other people. I think that's bad karma.
No, those people are bad. I think the problem is, so I think what UK just said they gave up and they're just gonna just deal with 3% of the population dying, right? I think it's gonna play out like that. I think Americans are gonna get fed up with the quarantine and just go out, and then 3% of the population's gonna die. A lot of doctors and nurses will die. It'll be chaos. Because I really don't, you can't force people to stay indoors for that long. They're like, for some people like me, like with my job, I can work remote, but a lot of people can't. And because like I'm a gamer, right? So I'm used to
What do you?
staying at
Yeah,
home.
we're nerds. We're losers. So yeah.
Right, so like that, it's normal for us, but like other people, they want to be out and about, and I don't think you're.
What are you doing to support like the community, local business and stuff?
Oh
Are you
yeah,
doing
I've been
anything,
going
or-
through the Taco Time drive-through, getting my Mexican fries.
That's not really a small business, but okay.
It's
Yeah.
a pretty small.
I guess it
business.
is. I guess it's still small business, yeah.
I went to Taco Del Mar, which is not on the East Coast, and I was wearing my mask and
Right.
gloves, and got some of those. Hopefully, I didn't get.
Let's put in the action items that we still need to do our Taco Time food reviews. So each podcast we'll try to do them a little bit earlier, and we'll get like a food item.
But I only get one thing, so.
I know, but we want to try the whole menu because they're a sponsor of us.
Okay. All right.
I've been walking to like the local neighborhood restaurants and trying to order stuff from them every day.
Yeah, that's good.
Not every day, but once a week or something. Like there's a small pizza place down the street, and I ordered like some bread and some cookies from them for takeout. You know, a Mediterranean place, I ordered like a gyro.
Yeah.
There's a wine shop close by that my partner got like a bottle of wine from, just to kind of it's just try to help these businesses stay afloat, man. Like I can't even imagine like our mutual friend who's a dentist, who's like my best friend, one of my best friends, Dr. Miller. He has like a dentistry, right, practice,
Yeah,
and so like
you can't. Yeah.
yeah, it's scary, man. Like he has to like close down for like routine stuff, and it's only open for emergencies. So it's just scary to be a business owner right now.
I think
You and I are very fortunate that we work for like things that are either. I mean, I guess our stuff is kind of essential, right? Teaching is essential. Like I mean, I'm gonna lose my job at the end of the summer, but it's not because of coronavirus.
Right.
It's unrelated. But
I'm worried my jiu-jitsu school in New Jersey is going to have to close down because like he can't charge tuition, right, when it's
Yeah.
closed, but you might have to be closed for a long time, or he'll have to reopen, but then that could potentially cause further spread.
yeah. How long has this recording been going on for?
We're about
So do time.
at the hour.
An hour?
mark. Yeah.
We'll kind of end it by talk. So you mentioned your jiu-jitsu gym, right? So gyms all over have been closing. My climbing gym closed, similar to you, like a week before, like the official kind of
Yeah.
crackdown on stuff.
Yeah.
And so like I I literally have done bench press every other day. For the past, let's see here. Since I was an undergraduate in college, I've done the bench press every other day since now. This is the longest break I've had from doing like any
Yeah,
kind of
like I'm
bench
trying to
press.
figure out how many push-ups do you need to do. So like if like okay, let's say I bench 225, 5 sets of 5. How many push-ups do I need to do to maintain that? Like I don't know. I don't know how to calculate it. Because a bench press and a
Uh,
push-up are like
they're
it's
not the
different
same.
mechanic. Yeah, exactly.
Well, what I've been doing is I've been doing 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats, and running like
Right.
3 miles
Saitama's
every day,
workout. Yeah.
and having like a banana.
Yeah, One Punch Man's
Um,
workout. Yeah. Yeah.
um,
And you even shaved
but
your head just like him.
well, I'm a Mohawk, so it's kind of different. But
Right, right.
I've been doing that kind of workout for the past. I guess it's been almost like a month now. I guess it's been a month.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been a long time, man. So I just got some weights from. I went to go pick up some weights outside from like a friend, and so like, I mean, sit-ups are what they are, right? And I can use some dumbbells and stuff to do like overhead and like curls and stuff. The chest workouts have been hard, and climbing, right? Like just do like pull-ups and stuff for back exercises. So I use my door frame, and I do pull-ups on that. Which is good because it's like a very, it's a pretty thin edge, and so it helps train my fingers too.
Yeah,
So
you
my
have
climbing
really
doesn't.
strong grips. That's insane. Because like a lot of people are
Uh,
buying that whatever that pull-up bar thing is called that you attach to your door.
I just use the door frame.
Yeah,
Um,
it's crazy.
Um, and then for chest exercises, um, before I picked up these weights from a buddy, I I had just bought like a bag of dog food from Costco, and so that was like I think it's a 45-pound bag or something. Maybe it's like 35, and I set that across my back, and I did push-ups with that.
Oh,
It wasn't
interesting.
enough weight.
Interesting.
It wasn't enough weight. So then I took like I filled the backpack with all my textbooks and some like very light weights, like some 5-pound weights, a bunch of 5-pound weights that my partner had. And I put those into a backpack, and that was maybe like 50 pounds. No, not even 50. Maybe like 50, close to 50 pounds. And so I was doing push-ups with that, and that wasn't enough weight. So I got these new weights, and so I tossed in like 100 pounds of plates into a backpack, and I
Yeah, yeah,
strapped that
nice.
to my back, and I do push-ups with
Yeah,
that.
you got to improvise.
Yeah.
I do.
You know what this is like prisoners, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like people in jail.
Right. I
Like
do.
they like have their cellmates like sit on their back.
Yeah. Baby squats.
Yeah.
Baby overhead press. He really likes that.
Yeah.
And then sort of baby bench press. It's not a real bench press because his feet kind of
Because
get in
he
the way.
weighs like 25 pounds. He also weighs like 25
Yeah,
pounds.
he only weighs 20 pounds, but for some reason, like it feels a lot heavier with a resisting baby. But, yeah.
Okay.
And then I figured out a way to do a baby bicep curl, kind of like you kind of
Uh-huh.
curl them up towards you. So
Well,
just
you have a backpack. If you have a backpack and you got textbooks, I'm sure you have your textbooks from college.
Yeah.
Yeah, just fill up that backpack, man. It's good.
Yep.
And a backpacks can handle like a decent amount of weight, right?
Yeah.
I do this really awkward thing when I fill up that bag because 100 pounds is actually a lot for a backpack, especially since I use like a really crappy backpack. I don't want to use my good one.
Right. Right.
And it's like a backpack that I got at a convention or something. So, what I do is I put the backpack so the backpack's here, and then I lay on top of it and I strap on, and then I do this awkward roll really quick so that I get onto my stomach. Because I don't want to stand up with 200 pounds or like 100 pounds of weight
Yeah.
on a backpack, because I'm worried that backpack's gonna rip and then it's gonna like drop all these plates on the floor and maybe hurt my dog if he's nearby. And two, I have concerns that I'll hurt my back if I try to stand up with a backpack with 100 pounds. I probably wouldn't, but so yeah, I just do this like I put it on the ground like facing up, and then I roll until I'm on my stomach, and then I do the push-ups, and then I roll back and then take it off. So I minimize the amount of impact I have.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Entertainment-wise, what have you been doing before we end this stream?
Yeah. No, just Nothing's changed. Just play video games and watch Netflix. But I mean, I've always been doing that. 'Cause, we're gamers.
Oh.
Doesn't matter.
Yep. What games are you playing?
Civilization
Eternal?
4,
Oh.
the best
The
game.
new Doom doesn't support mouse
That
inputs.
sounds like fake news. It's fine. Yeah, hopefully this year I'll build a new computer and that'll
Yeah.
support some businesses and.
Yeah. Where are you gonna buy from? Like, where do you buy like small? Where do you buy computer parts from a small business? Like.
Yeah, online. So.
Okay. Yeah. Like you're gonna buy from Amazon or
Or
Newegg.
new egg. Yeah.
Yeah. Fries.
Yeah, I mean, it's going out of business, so it's kind of like supporting a small business.
Man, there's so much stuff I want to talk about still though. Man, like other small like thoughts that just popped into my head. Like, do you think that people might soon discover that working at home is actually like just as efficient as working at the office?
Oh, it's
So,
not.
like, a lot
It's
of
not though. As someone who's worked remote for 2.5 years, it's horrible.
it
It's
depends.
soul-crushing.
I think it depends though. Like,
Yeah,
but some businesses might be like, hey, we're getting like a good amount of productivity and we don't actually have to have a physical location, so let's just, you know what I mean?
yeah, but
Like businesses could potentially save a lot of money.
humans are social creatures, so it's
Yeah.
it's rough.
That's true.
It became soul crushing.
Yeah.
So but it kind of sucked because I came back, so I was excited to see my team again, but we're all working remote now. But we gotta wrap this one up. So.
All right.
We
We'll
will-
talk more. We'll talk more about Adventures in Quarantine.
Yeah,
Did you watch?
more
Did
quarantine
you watch
episodes.
Tiger?
Yeah, I keep hearing
King?
about it. Orochi Zoolander talked about it, so
Oh,
it must be
it's
good.
it's really like it's like trashy. It's like a trashy like reality documentary. It's like it's I don't know. If you watch it, let me know. We'll talk about it.
We'll
I
talk
watched
about
like half.
We'll talk about it next
All right.
episode.
Well, next episode we'll talk about wrestling and how WWE has now gone no fans, and we'll talk
Okay,
about
I don't know what that means.
the-
but okay.
the last UFC fight and maybe like with Johanna when she got robbed at the belt.
No,
we'll talk
the
about
champ won, so that was good.
Oh.
Chinese champ. And still,
she gave it her all, dude. She like destroyed her face for it.
and still,
Uh,
yeah.
we'll talk about maybe Khabib, I guess. If I don't know, when are we gonna record next? That
Oh, yeah,
Khabib
next
fight may
week.
or may not
We're gonna
happen.
record every week. It's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
But
Talk about
we-
John Jones
I'm
and
kind
his
of worried
DUI
about the
arrest.
quality of this recording because there's a lot of background noise, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. We'll try to have a guest each week. Next week we might have Jay's wife for a little bit, and maybe
Sure.
Pablo will come on to plug Hard Body Chronicles.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good.
Thanks for joining us for this week's edition of For the Lulz. We hope that you guys.
Yeah.
We hope you guys are staying safe out there.
Yeah,
Because if all our viewers die of corona, then we will have no more viewers.
that's correct. Stay
So
indoors.
please stay healthy. So,
Stay indoors and game.
yep.
Go out.
all right, thanks guys for
All right.
watching. We'll catch you guys next time.
Goodbye, everybody.